Introducing Gerald.
Yeah, no, as handsome as that guy is, I don't look like him. All right, so today I want to talk about the legacy of Star Wars. We all know that Star Wars is a legacy. And the meaning of legacy that I'm using is the second definition, which is the long-lasting impact of particular events, actions, etc., that took place in the past or of a person's life. Meaning that Star Wars is going to live on. Past me, past you, past everybody. I mean, look how many people it's outlived so far. Quite a few. And with that, the Ahsoka Tano series is now added to that legacy, whether we want it to or not. It is. Sorry. No, wait. I'm not really sorry. I actually like Ahsoka. So I'm glad it's added into the Star Wars mythos. So there, I said it. Ha ha. All right, so I don't want to just talk about how Star Wars is a legacy. We all know that. We all know it's going to outlive George Lucas, Dave Filoni, Kathleen Kennedy, probably even Disney's ownership eventually. But what our own legacy is tied into Star Wars. And I'll get more into that meaning here in just a little bit. But before I continue, I do want to give this video's sponsors a quick shout out. And I have quite a few of them. Some people that I may have missed, and I apologize for that, but I am getting around to everybody. The first is TaylorMade Alpha. Next up comes Keanu Star 8662. Then we have Colin 2246, Z Corp Alpha, Darth Slagle 5979, and Earthman Dan 6484. Thank you guys for everything you do, and I appreciate you wanting to be a sponsor. No, they don't sell me anything. I don't get any products from them. I don't get any kickbacks for it. They're just people who love the channel and want you to subscribe, and that's their message. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button for the video, and share the video with some friends. You know what? You can even share it with some people you don't like. Mortal enemies or strangers. Yeah, that's fun. I do that a lot. Yeah. Anyway, so let's get back to the topic at hand. Star Wars as a legacy and how we are viewed as Star Wars fans through that legacy. Yes, we are all a part of that legacy. We are part of this fandom. We are a big voice in the fandom. Me alone, not so much a big voice, but all of you, all 31,000 of you that subscribe to me and the millions that subscribe to other people, we're all part of the legacy of Star Wars. And we have a legacy in our own lives, what we pass down to the next generation and how we're remembered. The same goes with Star Wars. How is it going to be remembered? Well, back when the prequel trilogy first started, a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, figured that trilogy would die, that nobody would remember it, nobody would care about it, and all that stuff. But now look at it. Everybody loves it. Well, a lot of people love it. Most people love it. Especially the people that grew up with it, and that was their first introduction into Star Wars. Yeah, so that has now become part of the legacy of Star Wars, the prequel trilogy. A lot of people still don't like it, and they're becoming fewer and farther between thanks to the Clone Wars animated series that really pumped up the volume as far as what the Clone Wars were like. And it answered a lot of questions that people had for the prequel trilogy. Okay, like how did Anakin and Padme have that affair and nobody ever noticed? That was a big question back then. Or what really happened to Jar Jar and why was he cut so much from the final two films of the prequel trilogy? Well, he's back in the Clone Wars. Not as much, but he's back. And dare I say, now we have the Star Wars sequel trilogy, which is now cemented into the legacy that's Star Wars. And before you run away screaming and kicking and punching walls and throwing your pee bottle and whatnot, you're still talking about it. I'm still talking about it. Whether you like the sequel trilogy or not, it's still a legacy. It's still remembered. And that's what this is about. And if you look at the posts online of the sequel trilogy, you're starting to see more and more people say, you know what? It wasn't really that bad. But I'm not here to convince you that it was a good trilogy, just that it's part of the Star Wars legacy now. And if people stop talking about it altogether, then I would say, yeah, maybe it's fallen by the wayside and people are forgetting about it and really don't care about it. But enough people care about it to trash it all the time. Anytime a post is brought up, trash the sequel trilogy, but there are more people who are liking it. And then we get The Mandalorian, seasons 1, 2, 3. We get the Book of Boba Fett. We get the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, Andor, Rogue One, Solo, A Star Wars Story, and the Ahsoka series, as well as the Bad Batch seasons 1 and 2, all becoming part of the Star Wars legacy. There's also Rebels in there and Resistance, and whether we like those shows or not, they are not forgotten. So they have a lasting impact, whether it be a negative one or a positive one. And with the Ahsoka series, what we're going to see is people remembering the good things. Remember the lesson that Anakin Skywalker taught Ahsoka in the World Between Worlds. You can say she was dying at the time, or she was in the World Between Worlds, or as a figment of her imagination. Doesn't matter. On screen, Anakin Skywalker was present. And to us, that means Hayden Christensen was reprising the role of Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader in the Ahsoka series. And another part of the Ahsoka series that is going to be part of the legacy and remembered well is the introduction of Grand Admiral Thrawn in live action. Now, you guys can sit there and say you hate it all you want. You can say it was boring or mid or you loved it or anything like that, but you're talking about it. And that's the point of this. You're talking about it so it's not forgotten. It is a legacy. And as long as we have entertainment media the way it is now, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. Now, I did promise that I would include our personal selves into the Star Wars legacy because we are all a part of that legacy. I described it before. I don't think I have to go into it again, or at least I shouldn't have to. Nah, I'm not going to. Anyways, this is October, and we have Halloween in just a few weeks. Yeah, I said a few. Get over it. Anyways, so we have Halloween in a couple of weeks, and I wanted to do something a little darker than normal. So this is going to seem more morbid than what it actually is. So please stick tight with it, all right? All right, so I have this small YouTube channel, this little YouTube channel. Some people can call that my legacy. Some people could say that that's what's going to live on forever for me, but it's not. Once I'm gone, people are going to stop watching my videos. Maybe once in a while, click on it and something, but nobody's going to be talking about it. Nobody's going to care that I love Star Wars. They're just going to move on to the next thing that's available with somebody who's alive that can continue it. Unless I pass it down to one of my children or grandchildren and they take the helm and then they continue it. And then it kind of becomes a legacy. But inside my family, after a couple generations are gone, I'll be forgotten. I know that's dark to think about, but it's the truth, and I've come to terms with that. And so let's stick with Star Wars on this, shall we, and not go to the darker side of how my family's going to forget me after I'm dead and gone. Who cares? Nobody cares about that. My family, I guess, they do. But anyways, so moving on to how this pertains to Star Wars. Well, the way I leave my channel, if people do watch it, that's how people are going to remember me. They're going to remember me as a Star Wars fan who loves Star Wars. They're going to say, okay, this guy pumped it up, probably a little more than he should have, but he loved the franchise. And I also go online and I comment back on people commenting about different things. Like, let's say, for instance, Instagram, okay? One guy said Disney ruined Star Wars. I just asked a simple question. I said, how so? Do the movies that you do love in Star Wars franchise not exist anymore? Basically saying you don't have to pay attention to the other stuff if you don't like it. How did it kill Star Wars for you or ruin it? Well, I never got a reply on that. Instead, I got a reply from Instagram saying that I am not permitted to make comments on posts for 2 weeks. I don't care. I was going to get rid of Instagram anyway. It's kind of a boring thing. I like the pictures people post and I heart those and whatnot. But other than that, it's really not very meaningful to me. It's kind of boring. I was also thinking about getting rid of Twitter because it's about the same thing as Instagram, only you scroll up and I don't know. It's confusing to me. I don't understand that cesspool. But that's my legacy. I am a Star Wars fan, and I've created a channel dedicated to those who love Star Wars and love talking about Star Wars and don't want to trash it at all times. Now, what's your legacy in Star Wars? Are you one that says, okay, I didn't like this, and I'm going to pass on it from now on and just stick with the ones that I do like and watch those? Or are you one of those with a negative legacy that's going around trashing everybody who says they like Star Wars or any part of Star Wars that you don't like? Or if they say they don't mind what Disney's done, are you being nice to them? Or is somebody saying that they hate Star Wars for what Disney's done, and then you're going and trashing them personally? Is that going to be your legacy? Is that what you want to be remembered for? Not me. I don't want to be remembered as some nasty, mean guy. I don't want somebody spitting on my grave when I'm gone. Not that any of you would do that. I don't think you would. I'd hope not. I mean, what do I care? I'll be dead. It isn't going to matter. But my point is this how you want to be remembered? Do you want to be remembered as a Star Wars fan who didn't actually like Star Wars? Do you want your name cemented in the internet, which is going to live on as long as there's electronics and electricity? Are you going to want to be cemented in there saying, it's trash, it's garbage, banging your fists on the table? I couldn't see anybody wanting that. I mean, yeah, sure, in the short term, while you're alive, it's good stuff. It's good to put out there because you're drumming up business for yourself and people are giving you attention. But is that the kind of attention you're going to want when you're gone? And I'm not saying that you have to go through and say, yes, I love Star Wars. It's beautiful. There's butterflies everywhere. No, that's not what I'm saying. You can dislike it. That's fine. Nobody's going to hate you for disliking something. But how you act to other people is what is going to base your own legacy on. And I'm not talking about people judging you because, honestly, how many people that are talking to you actually know you? You might be a swell person who enjoys bourbon as much as I do. Or maybe you like, gardening or something, or growing bonsai trees. By the way, I do that. Yeah, I do. I have bonsai trees. But my point is that the internet is giving all of us a small legacy, a little bit of something to carry our spirit over to the next generations and generations and generations, as long as they're not some kind of apocalyptic zombie munch fest or something. But if you have a YouTube channel and all you're doing is spewing hate about Star Wars constantly, after you're gone, what are people going to see? Are they going to see the nice person you were that loved swimming and playing backgammon? No, they're going to see what you put online. And that's what you're going to be remembered for. Just my thoughts on it. I know I went a little dark on this, so I apologize for that. And honestly, I don't mind giving haters crap once in a while, but I don't mean any ill will toward them, and I don't trash them as people. I just question their ideas. And as long as Star Wars is able to be streamed or bought on DVD, Blu-ray, UHD, whatever the hell you buy it on, then Star Wars is going to live on past any of us. It's just a thought. You're not making an impact on it that much. It's still going to live on. It's not going to be forgotten. I don't know. Maybe I worded some of that wrong. But anyways, that's all I have to say for now. Maybe I'll touch more on this topic another time. If any of you want to hear more about my ramblings like this and my rants, then just give me a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. Share the video with some friends, enemies, frenemies, whatever you want to call them. And go on a little, mandate with them and hang out and talk about Star Wars and how Star Wars Fanatic changed your life. Yeah, I probably didn't do that. Anyways, please just don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up. And this is Gerald, a Star Wars Fanatic, signing off until the next video. Thank you all for watching. And remember, this is the way. And positivity in the Star Wars community can be the only way.